Good morning everyone, it's Chandrakala. So today we will solve numerical questions of exercise 2b, but before that we have to see one doubt from exercise 2a, that is question number 8 part C. So question number 8 is, a pump is used to lift 500 kg of water from a depth of 80 meter in 10 seconds. Calculate amount of work done, power and power rating when efficiency is equal to 40%. I know that you have calculated work done and power. I have written power because we will need it in section C. So now we have to calculate power rating when its efficiency is equal to 40%. And it's also given that efficiency is equal to useful power upon input power. Or in other words, output power upon input power. This is given in the question. Okay. So in last class itself, we have seen that whenever any form of energy is put to work, some amount of energy is wasted in the form of heat or radiation. So that means 100% transformation of energy is not possible. Some amount of energy is always wasted. For example, we have seen one example that in the case of a glowing bulb, electric energy is converted into light energy. That means actually we want to use electric current. With the help of electric current, we want to glow the bulb and we want light. But we know that along with light, some amount of heat is also produced, because of which after some time, after working of some time of bulb, it becomes hot. So suppose you have given 100% electrical current, out of that 95% is used as light, whereas 5% is wasted in the form of heat. And as we discussed, this is wasted for us in this case, because when we are glowing bulb, there we do not make any use of heat energy. So in this case, the efficiency of this bulb is 95%. That means it is giving you 95% efficiency. That means what you want in that form of energy, it is consuming only 95%. It is taking 100% and giving you 95% of that, and 5% is wasted. So similarly, in the question, efficiency is 40%. That means the device is actually giving output only 40%. 60% of energy is wasted. And that means output power we will get 40%, and here in second part we have calculated the power consumed. That means first we calculated the amount of work done, and then we calculated how much power the machine has used in doing that work. So this power is power output, and power rating means power input. That means how much power initially we have given, that is power rating, that is power input. Okay, so if I will write this formula, efficiency is equal to output power, that means how much work you have obtained, in that how much power has been used, upon input power. So if the efficiency is 40%, can I write it 40 upon 100, because 40% means 40 upon 100, and output power is 40 kilowatt. If you want to write it down in watt, you can use in watt, otherwise kilowatt, upon input power, that we don't know. This is known as power rating, how much initially the power has been given. So actually we want here is power input power is equal to since here we have taken 14 kilowatt, so here the power obtained is also in kilowatt. So 100 kilowatt is the input power. That means initially you have given 100 kilowatt, and out of 100 kilowatt the machine has utilized 40 kilowatt, and 60 kilowatt power has been wasted. This is our question number 8. Our next question is question number 3, that is from exercise 2b. A box of weight 150 kilogram force has gravitational potential energy stored in it equal to 14,700 joule. Find the height of the box above the ground and small g is given 9.8 Newton per kilogram. So here what is given? First of all, weight is given, and we know that weight is force, so that is equal to 150 kilogram force. And then the potential energy, that is U, is given, that is 14,700 joule, and we have to find out H. This is our question. We have learnt in class 9th relation between kilogram force and Newton. That means if we will multiply this kilogram force by G, we will get its answer in Newton, that is force or weight in Newton. Why we need this in Newton? Because actually here energy is given in joule. That means the weight or the force is given in gravitational units, and this is given in SI system. So first we have to convert this also in Newton. So to convert it into Newton, if we will multiply it by G, then it will be 150 into 9.8 Newton. Why 9.8? Basically we can take 10 for easy calculation, but here it is especially mentioned that G should be 9.8. That means we must take 9.8 only. So this is the force. And now U, potential energy, is equal to mgh, and we know that mg is force. So that is force into h. U is given 14,700, F is given 150 into 9.8, and H we have to calculate. So from here we can calculate H, that is equal to 14,700 upon 150 into 9.8, and it will be 10 meter. Like this, wherever the force or the weight is given in kilogram force, we can convert it into Newton, and then we can solve our question. Now we will see question number 13. Question number 13 is two bodies have masses in ratio 5:1 and kinetic energies in ratio 125:9. Calculate the ratio of their velocities. That means what is given? M1 ratio M2 is given, and that is equal to 5:1. Kinetic energy first ratio, kinetic energy second is given, and that is 125:9. What we want? We want ratio of velocities, V1 ratio V2. This is our question. Okay, so since we have to make the use of kinetic energy and we want ratio, so we will write in the form of ratio kinetic energy 1 upon kinetic energy 2 is equal to half m1 v1 square upon half m2 v2 square. Since we are using ratio, okay, so kinetic energy 1 upon kinetic energy 2. Kinetic energy 1 upon kinetic energy 2 is given 125 upon 9 is equal to, half has been cancelled out, m1 upon m2. m1 upon m2 is equal to 5 upon 1, okay, into v1 square upon v2 square. This we don't know, we have to find it out. So v1 square upon v2 square. Okay, from here v1 upon v2 whole square, because v1 square upon v2 square means v1 upon v2 whole square is equal to 125 upon 9 into 1 upon 5. So this is 225. So this is 25 upon 9. See, v1 upon v2 square is equal to 25 upon 9. That means what? v1 upon v2 whole square is equal to 25 upon 9. This implies v1 upon v2 is equal to under root 25 upon 9. That is equal to 5 upon 3. Therefore, v1 ratio v2 is equal to 5:3. This is our question number 30. Our next question is question number 22. A bullet of mass 50 gram is moving with a velocity of 500 meter per second. It penetrates 10 centimeter into a still target. Still target means target at rest, and comes to rest. Calculate kinetic energy and retarding force. So what is given? Mass is given, that is 50 gram, moving with a velocity of 500 meter per second, penetrates 10 centimeter into a still target. That means displacement is 10 centimeter. Okay, and then comes to rest. That means final velocity, you can denote it by anything, any u final is equal to 0. Finally it comes to rest. Then calculate the kinetic energy. First of all, we have to calculate kinetic energy, and kinetic energy, that is our first part, is equal to half mv square. But here m is given in gram, whereas velocity is given in meter per second, and s is also given in centimeter. That means first of all we have to convert all these in same system of units. So that is equal to 50 into 10 raised to power minus 3 kilogram. That is already in SI system, and that is equal to 10 into 10 raised to power minus 2. Why? That you know. Still you can write if you want. 1 kilogram is equal to 1000 gram, and 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeter. That's why all these things are happening. Okay, so here what we want is half m 50 into 10 raised to power minus 3. V square means 500 into 500. 1, 2, 3, 3. So this is 25. So what we want is 25 into 50 into 5. That is equal to 6250 joule. That is the kinetic energy. And second question is retarding force. So see, in the question, one target was there and one bullet was fired from a gun and it was moving with a velocity. Since this target is at rest, so when the bullet was moving, it was having kinetic energy. As soon as it will come in contact with this target, then this kinetic energy will be converted into potential energy, and that means the speed will decrease. Its speed will decrease, and finally it will come to rest after 10 centimeter. S is equal to 10 centimeter. That means after starting penetrating the object, after 10 centimeter of penetration, it will stop. And that means the velocity is decreasing and finally it is coming to rest. That means one retarding force is applied by this object, that is this target at rest, and this opposite or retarding force only we have to find out. Now we know that we have learned a definition for kinetic energy. Kinetic energy is the amount of work which a body can do before coming to rest. So here the kinetic energy we have calculated, and this kinetic energy is amount of work done before the body can do before coming to rest. So this kinetic energy is equal to work done, and we know that work done is equal to F into S. So this work or kinetic energy we are already having 6250. Force we have to find out. Displacement is already given 10 into 10 raised to power minus 2. So from here you can calculate force, that is this upon 10. You can write down this 100 here. 0, that means that is equal to 62500 Newton. This is the amount of retarding force. This is our next question, that is question number 23. A spring is kept compressed by a small trolley of mass 0.5 kilogram. Mass is given 0.5 kilogram lying on a smooth horizontal surface. When the trolley is released, it is found to move at a speed of 2 meters per second. What potential energy did the spring possess when compressed? That means we know that when the spring was compressed, some amount of work was done to compress the spring, and that amount of work done has been stored in the form of potential energy, and as soon as the external force will be removed, the spring will try to come in its original position, and because of that it will apply a push on the trolley, and which make the trolley to move with a velocity v. So that means this potential energy has been now converted into kinetic energy. So we can write here elastic potential energy of spring is equal to kinetic energy gained by trolley. Both are equal. So if they are asking us potential energy, then we can use any one formula. So here we are not having mgh, but here for kinetic energy we are having m also and v also. So we will find out the same potential energy is equal to kinetic energy is equal to half mv square. Half m is given 0.5 and v is given 2 square. That means it is equal to 1 joule is equal to 1 joule. So the amount of kinetic energy, or you can say the amount of potential energy, is equal to 1 joule. Now one more theoretical question has been asked by one of the students, that is from the question answer. Question answer, exercise 2B, question number 17. The question is, when an arrow is shot from a bow, it has kinetic energy in it. Explain briefly from where does it get its kinetic energy. See, this we have already discussed, and on page number 33, if you want more explanation, it's given on page number 33. Conversion of potential energy into kinetic energy. Their examples are there, and I think second or third example is given. Actually, when a bow is stretched, then some amount of work is done in stretching of its string, and that amount of work done is stored in the form of elastic potential energy. And whenever an arrow is shot from it, then that same potential energy, elastic potential energy, stored by the string of the bow, is converted into kinetic energy, and with the help of that gain kinetic energy, the arrow is able to move. Thank you.